Hi guys, I'm Genie, here today to bring you another meta deck. And we are talking about Endure Spiders, which consists in making as many spiders as possible to make those who endure as fat as possible. Now you may be wondering, is this effective though, Genie? Yes, it is effective. This deck has mainly two win conditions. Early on you have Elise, because since she has part of her spider toolkits, she can be quite troublesome for some decks to deal with, but overall she's just a tool to make pressure, trade, and at best deal damage to the enemy nexus, slowly working towards the late game finish. That being said, you shouldn't treat her as a win condition, because she's more of a value generator unit that should generate units and creating more spiders to die and feed our they who endure. The second win con is obviously the fast Freljord creature, hopefully strong enough by the time you drop it, as well as Tryndamere in some cases. They may win you games by hitting with Overwhelm, which is less likely, or by winning with Atrocity on them, which is more likely and what happens in most cases. This deck has many versions, but they all follow pretty much the same pattern of game style. You should be careful about the same things on all of them. For example, you should always be careful before using Atrocity, always checking your enemy's mana and thinking what he may have with that mana that could disrupt your finish, for example. Like, do they have healing? Does he have a spell that kills your unit before the spell takes place? These type of things. Another thing to always consider is that often dropping a 7/7, for example, may be good enough to set the pace of the game. You will have to judge by yourself when it's time to drop it, and I say that because I've lost some games that if I had dropped it earlier I would have won. So even though they are your win condition, you shouldn't be too afraid to use it. Funny enough, playing this deck was the first time where someone wiped my entire board, therefore killed 6 of my units with Withering Wail, and I felt like I won the game because I saw that 14-14 was pretty cool. So it's a pretty counterintuitive deck to play, at least regarding the way you feel about the facts that happens towards the game. This is not an extremely tricky deck to pilot, but it takes a bit of time to get used to. If you play your cards right, you shouldn't have much problem with decks like the Noxus, any Noxus deck really, as well as the new Corina deck that runs V. You will probably have little trouble dealing with them as well. You have, however, to pay attention to some specific things while playing against Demacia. Mainly that Demacia deck that uses standalones in an OTK manner. You can't let Fiora live, because if she gets Unyielding Spirits, you're done. Very hard to come back from that. You should also be aware that this deck is extremely hard countered by Ionia, at least in my opinion, and in most games that I've played versus Ionia it felt pretty helpless. Mainly because they often have answers for your early aggressions, and good players will always save Will of Ionia or Deny to disrupt your Atrocity, because when they see the symbols like the Shadow Isle symbols combined with Freljord, they already know what deck it is, they already know what's coming. And when they do that, you're pretty much done. You're in the late game with a win condition that doesn't work because they know your plan. So the best option is for you to have in this scenario is to drop a big Overwhelm units and try to go ham on them without the Atrocity, to maybe force your enemy into bad plays. Who knows, maybe because against Ionia I can attest that the odds are against you. To finish it off, I'll give you 3 more tips. First, since before leveling up Tryndamere doesn't die when killed, your Atrocity will not be cancelled if your enemy manages to kill him. It will rather use the damage of the leveled up Tryndamere as damage source. Second, they who endure will keep its stats or even be buffed if Will of Ionia is used on him. and it won't become a standard 1-1. This information is pretty good since it may help you deal with an already hard matchup against Ionia. It may give you a little hope. And third and last, while going against Lux Karma decks, your best option is to try and not flood your board with 1-1s at the end of the game, because if you do so, there won't be as much things that you can do to stop your enemy from shooting at you. Now, to wrap it up, I started climbing where I left from yesterday's video and now got to this rank. My win rate was 60% pretty much, because I found a lot, like a lot, you have no idea, of Ionia decks. So, oh god, did I hustle. But if there are not many people playing Ionia decks where you are, you should be able to climb the ladder with Endure Spiders without much problem. So this is gonna do it for this video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like to the video, comment with your thoughts, and thank you for watching, and see ya!